Hey Rose, welcome back to MMAOddsBreaker. Thanks for coming back on again. Um, it's been a minute. I mean, we it's
Yeah, it's
been
been a while. Lots of stuff has happened.
what's been going on? Talk to me. Take me through it.
Just
What's going on?
man, where do I begin? I guess just from having, losing in the finale versus Carla, then taking a long break and getting another fight, getting it canceled, and then another break, and then preparing for this one, and now we're just a week away. Lots of growth has happened, and lots of just get maturing as an adult, and you becoming a woman and stuff like that. You go through a lot of, I'm sure when you were this age, you went through a lot of phases and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's happening with me. And I guess I would have to write a book if I could just explain it all. But it's been pretty cool. I'm improving a lot, not just physically, but mentally just becoming a lot stronger.
You're 23 years old. At 23, I was still in college. I was wrestling on, for the University of Oklahoma. So it's like a different kind of feel. When
Yeah.
there's a lot of growth that happens at this age. A lot of stuff is going on. Your ideals, your mindset changes, like how your outlook on life and all that stuff changes.
Yeah.
So from a physical standpoint, though, are you starting to feel like a little bit stronger, a little bit more confident, a little bit more, I can get through the miserable training
Yeah.
camps? You
Yeah.
feel a little bit better about that?
I've realized that a lot of like conditioning and your physical like endurance and everything like that. I feel like I'm getting stronger and hitting a lot harder and stuff like that. My body's kind of I'm not as flexible as I used to be, but I'm getting a lot more like I said, stronger and faster and a lot more endurance. But I also realize that all this stuff is very mental. It's a lot of it is how far are you willing to push and how many barriers are you willing to get rid of? Knowing that it's in your head and knowing that you can always go a little bit more.
Are you having to find time too to like you want to be in the gym, but the coach is like, no, you got to go home. You need to take a half day today.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of both. I'm definitely learning to enjoy my relaxed time a lot more in my rest. I'm learning to relax a lot more. I mean, growing up, I always had to put my guard up against everybody because I couldn't trust anybody. Whereas now I'm in an environment where I have people around me that I can trust. I actually have real friends and
Okay.
people that I feel like I'm going to know for the rest of my life. So, or at least for the most part. So those guards are coming down one at a time. At the same time, I'm always prepared and I'm always ready for anything to happen just when I'm walking down the street. So that's always going to be something that's with me. But as far as like, rest and relaxation goes, I do kind of push myself and I'm still very hard on myself. Those habits die very hard. I'm always like, just, I got to get this, and this, and this in. But, at the same time, I'd be more comfortable with just letting things go that even if, there's only so much time in a day and I'm starting to be more comfortable with that.
Is Pat still helping you take some of that burden off? Is he still being that rock that he's been like for the last 2 years that I've known? Is he still that hey,
Yeah.
handle this crap for me? I don't feel like dealing with it kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool now that it's more equal balance between us.
Yeah.
He's kind of toned down his like pulling me back, and I've kind of toned down my pulling forward. So we're more at like
Yeah.
a balanced level relationship right now. But he still kind of pulls me back, and I still am like just a dog on a leash trying to go forward.
But it's good though. You guys have a good relationship, and I've been talking to a lot of athletes lately, and it's kind of been the kind of the theme of some of my interviews is how important a relationship is when you're an athlete. It's tough to be in a
Yeah,
bad relationship and try to compete because you're getting dragged out. Do you
totally. Yeah.
how you obviously feel comfortable coming home? You're like, good, I don't have to be on anymore because there's a part of us that you're an entertainer. Like the fans look at you as entertainment. We
Hmm.
buy the pay-per-views to see you fight because it's entertainment for us. So you feel like there's always a part of you when you're out of the house. It's like I got to be the thug. Like I got to be on because the fans are gonna come up and I got to be
Yeah.
that person.
At the same time, I don't necessarily have to be all the time. Like, it does kind of suck when you're trying to like be on time for like an interview and you got a Subway sandwich in your hand and you're trying to eat it and somebody's trying to like stop you for a picture. Like, that kind of sucks, because it's like, but I don't necessarily have to turn it on because like my character is me, like I
Okay.
am thorough. Like, I am always just like, I've got a bad attitude, like that's just always going to be me. At the same time, I don't also I don't hide the fact that I do have a soft side, I do have a sweet side, and I'm very just
Well,
open and honest, you know.
you might want to rephrase that. You don't hide it anymore. That
Yeah,
you have a soft side. When I first met you, you were like trying to be like hard all
yeah,
the time. Like,
yeah,
all right, I'll let it go. It'll switch in a minute. You can see it if people look at
yeah,
you and pay attention, they can see there's a soft side.
yeah,
They look into your eyes, they just see it. Like they can tell there's a
yeah,
soft side there. Because if you didn't have a soft side, you and Pat wouldn't work. Because
yeah,
Pat needs that nurturing part of you to be able to function, and you need
yeah.
his craziness to make you function. So it's like that even balance.
Yeah, and I think that soft side has always been there. It's just like I think just in the environment that I'm in now, just more of a I guess just being out here in Colorado is kind of more of like a hippie environment, and it's more I mean there's still some idiots obviously, but and then
Yeah.
you know Pat is obviously a way more just loving person. He's kind of brought it out of me, all these things, and just the good things that are happening in my life has made me a lot more happy person. So yeah.
Okay, so home life is going good. You're happy at your camp. I mean, we all saw the controversy, and that mess here a couple months ago when Rufus had some stuff come out about his camp, and then you guys were going back and forth. And obviously, you're happy. You're happy in the area that you're in. You're happy with your friends. You're happy with
Yeah.
everything that's going on. But how is that translated into getting ready to fight for Angela Hill? Like, how has that helped you prepare?
It's just I don't know. I guess it's just made everything like anything that any type of mistakes because there's no perfect training camp, no matter what. But instead of letting those red flags kind of slip by and just ignore it and act like everything's like perfect, we've been addressing those things and so anything like where I start to feel kind of off, we address it right away, and then all of a sudden we're back on track. So, every once in a while you kind of have to have one of those moments where you need to take a step back, or you need to like kind of look at something that you're not really totally being honest about, and then
Okay.
all of a sudden once you address it, things go back onto autopilot instead of going into practice. Like if you're thinking about something, you kind of have to force yourself to like get through the workout versus like just having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And so practice isn't fun. Sometimes practice is grueling. Like, you seem to be like, put on social network is like, oh yeah, all this is easy. Like all this is fun. Like all this is, but there's tough days, right?
Dude, yeah, I mean, I would say like nowadays, like this training camp, I say I've had about maybe I could count on my hand maybe as far as like the couple days where it wasn't even a bad practice or a grueling practice. It was more like I just was thinking about it. Like I had to make myself go through the motions versus like I'm just on autopilot, not even thinking about it, and I'm just
Yeah.
like everything's flowing, So yeah, I would say there definitely are moments, and to me, like I'm not gonna put a front. Like I definitely like there are other things that I enjoy other than fighting. Like so for me, it's like I want to do other things, but at the same time, like this is my life right now. Like this is, and I definitely have a huge passion for this. But I don't put all my eggs in one basket. So yeah, my mind goes elsewhere sometimes. But right now, and especially for this training camp, I've had a blast for the most part.
What other things do you like to do?
Anything dealing with nature, animals, going outside, hanging out with friends, you know, stuff like that.
No, normal hippie stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
All
for
right, well
sure.
let's talk about Angela then. This is a tough fight. Like this is a pretty ballish fight. It's gonna be a lot of action, a lot of heat, a lot of punches being
Yeah.
thrown by both characters. How do you break this one down? When you see tape on her, how do you break her down as a fighter?
She kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say stalk her. She doesn't necessarily stalk her opponents, but it kind of looks like it.
Mhm.
She tries to kind of get you to stay on one spot and just trade, like a typical kickboxer. Very, very typical kickboxer. She's got a good right high kick. She's got decent, a very good right hand, and the rest of her strikes are pretty decent. Good clinching. And her wrestling's getting better, and I'm sure it's gotten a lot better since last time she came here and we trained together and stuff like that. So, as far as her jiu-jitsu on the ground, it's not very fluid, but she has this tenacity that's very, it's very impressive just how the heart that she has and the drive and the motivation she has to just like kind of muscle through everything. She's got a lot of aggression. She's got good conditioning, and I wouldn't necessarily judge her based off of her last fight because it was like some crazy elevation or altitude, you know,
Yeah.
so that does affect your cardio. But she has very good cardio. She has very good strength and conditioning, and that's pretty much what she's going to be bringing to the table.
So making the game plan, you know, we all know writing on paper, hey, this is how you beat this particular individual. To beat Angela Hill,
Mm-hmm.
it's not very difficult to write down to do it, but to actually implement it
Yeah.
against her seems a little difficult because she does like to go forward so much. She does like to always be in your face. Have you had to change up how you're training or change up your training partners to get ready for this particular fight because she is so, like you said, she is so stalking when she comes after you?
Mm-hmm. No, not necessarily. Like we're kind of doing. I changed up a lot of my style since I lost. And then getting ready for the fight that got canceled. You know, we changed a lot of things for that, and it's kind of similar right now as to what it was last training camp. You know, but with just a little variation. And I don't want to like reveal too much, obviously, but definitely shutting her down is like the main thing. And with what I will shut her down with, you know, it's pretty basic and simple, you know, and you kind of get to see that in the fight. It's just keep it basic and pretty much just use my technical skill as well as the focus was also to be, because I feel like honestly, I feel like my skill, my technical side is light years ahead of her, and I feel like just 2 months of a training camp is not going to be enough to catch up with me. But you know what she does, what she does brings to the table is her conditioning and her aggression. So that has been the focus, is to be able to be that in great shape, like the best shape of my life,
Okay.
and then on top of that, just outskill her.
How's your weight right now? Are you light?
I believe so. Our scale broke. I think like 120 right now.
Okay, so you're five over. So for 115, that's actually pretty good. A week
Yeah.
out, so you're not gonna have a problem making weight. Nutrition's obviously dialed in. Home life is good. It sounds like we're gonna absolutely see the best Rose we can possibly see.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be an interesting fight. This is very aggressive. It's gonna be very like you said. You know, she's gonna be coming after you. You're gonna have to get out of the way and kind of stop her from coming after you. And I'm super interested to see how this fight goes because you've been out for so long,
Yeah.
but not because you wanted to be out or because you were hurt. Because shit just fell through. You know, it's just things
Well,
just keep
it
happening.
was a kind of it was a combination of like me also not like wanting to jump right in there right away. I mean, because
Okay.
that's the first time I've ever had a fight canceled that close, and like, um, you know, the day that they offered me something, like I was putting my family dog down, so it's just like kind of hard to like, you know, and there's other things going on. You know, my
Yeah.
grandmother was sick and stuff like that, so yeah, I didn't necessarily want to get right back in there. So it was my bad too.
Okay.
But also just like things did fall apart. So like I would want to be a little bit clear about that because, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, it's like there's a lot of people out there that are like, you know, will do whatever UFC, like, I don't want to say says, but like they'll jump
No.
into a fight, you know, and especially in a desperate fight too, like because people, and I'm fortunate enough to not have to do that. So, um, you know, I make my own choices, and I'm fighting when I want to fight now. So
That's good. And
yeah,
that's something that I couldn't do till later in my career. And I'm the first one to tell
yeah,
you I jumped. I jump. I didn't even care. You know, and there's several
yeah,
fights that I had no business being in at all due to injuries or due to things going on in my personal life. But I still was like, nope, I'm in. Like, you know, like when
yeah.
you don't, you
It's
know, that's not
rough, you
smart.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for you. I'm glad you have the maturity level now and not when you're 33 still trying to make a run at it. You're like, no, man, I'll sit and wait a minute. I'll figure some
Yeah,
other stuff out. So that's good. That's good.
yeah, for
Rose,
sure.
thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Have fun. It's going to be a good fight, October 3rd. UFC 192 versus Angela Hill. This is going to be, it is one of the better fights on the card for me personally, because I am wanting to see how the women's division, the strawweight division is developing. And you guys are the ones that are kind of, you're like, oh, well, you're only 2-2 and she's 2-1. So it's like only 4 fights, but the whole division is now starting to step up quite a bit. And I want to see the improvements that have been
Yeah,
made since the last time you fought.
I'd say with all the exciting, you know, revolution things going on with the UFC, I think the one thing that has been missing is Thug Rose. So just stay tuned. All
I love it. All right, Doug, we'll talk to you soon.
right, see ya.